Hey, what's up friends? Welcome back to the channel. This is Oston, back again with another simple video on web development. So in this video, still continuing with the Materialize CSS framework, I'm going to be showing you how you can create your custom checkboxes, not on but depending on the framework. You're going to be depending on the framework, but styling these checkboxes, radio buttons. That's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. So what we have to do is go to their official website called materializecss.com and press enter, hopefully. Now you'll be brought to such a page. What you have to do is click this get started button, and you'll also again be presented to such a page whereby you can download it and use it offline by clicking this teal button, that teal color. You're seeing that button right there. So what you have to do for the case of this tutorial, you're going to be copying these CDNs, the content delivery network links, and repaste them in our text editor, which is Sublime. You can be using any text editor you'll be using that side. So basically we don't need this JavaScript CDN because we are not working with any JavaScript component. We are working with only CSS. We need only this extension, and hopefully that's what we need for this case. And we are going to close that stuff. These are the HTML radio buttons and checkboxes. Then we are going to be creating our own checkboxes and radio buttons on this page. It's the open file in the browser. What you're going to do is I'm going to give it some basic layout. I'm going to create a div. I'm sorry for talking like that. So we are going to be creating some div. Give it a class of container. So it's going to be having some fixed width around it by adding this simple class of container. Then I want it to be having a 2-column layout. So I'm going to create a div. Give it a class of row. It's like Bootstrap, if you have ever come across Bootstrap. So we are going to create that div with a class of row. Inside it we are going to create a div. I'm going to give it a class of col, short for column, S12. So on small screen devices, I want it to take the whole grid system of 12. Now on medium screens, I want it to take 6 columns. So it's going to be 6 by 6. So there are going to be 2 columns. So when it says 6 plus 6, that's 12. Now let me put some simple H5 here. And I say Materialize checkboxes. Now inside this one, I'm going to put again the H5 and I say Materialize radio buttons. So we should be having some 2-column layout. As you can see, we are having this side 6 and this side 6. So let me do stuff like this. They are all going to be independent. I'm also going to make this one independent. I want you to see the difference. Now what we are going to do first, we are going to go in this column of checkboxes. Now to create our own checkboxes, they will be in a form because you'll be submitting stuff to the database. Let's say now we are dealing with hobbies. We are taking hobbies from users. Then what we have to do is first create a paragraph tag. Inside this paragraph, we are going to be having a label. And inside the label, we are going to be having the input text or checkbox, and we are going to say checkbox. And for the name, let's say you're working with some server scripting language. Since we are working with hobbies, we can say hobby. You can name it anything you want. And for the value, that will be taken to the database to depend on the span you're going to be creating. So let me say the first span is going to be football. So the first input field will be taking the value of football to the database. Basically, that's it. Now let me save this, preview it in the browser. We are having our checkbox and the span or the label. So when I click it, you're going to see we are having this nice looking animation, which is not possible when you are having our plain HTML. So this is the text box, the checkbox we get with HTML, and this is the checkbox we get when we use the Materialize framework. So what I'm going to do is copy this paragraph. As you can see, some simple markup. Just do the opening tag for paragraph, cross it this side, opening tag for label, cross this side. So inside label we are having the field or the checkbox and the span as the label. Very, very simple. So I'm going to copy this paragraph, paste it the second time, third time. So this one is going to go to swimming, the span is going to change to swimming. So for the value, I will say swimming, because what is going to be taken to the database, in case you are working with a server scripting language, once again, the name will always be the same. So here I'm going to replace it with, where there is football, I'm going to put like coding, for the value still to be coding, or G coding. The same applies to this. So we are having our checkboxes with that nice looking animation. Since it's a form, there will be the submit button. So this one will be submit. The name still to be submit. For the value, I will say send. And when I save this, it will be some funny looking button. So we are going to add some simple class, a btn red, and that's how it will be styled. So when the user ticks all those stuffs and clicks the send button, they go to the database. This is just a simple UI, user interface. Now let's go to the radio buttons. As you can see, there is a big difference with these checkboxes if you are to compare them with these. As you can see, basically, now that's for the checkboxes. You have seen it's a simple markup in HTML. Now let's go to the radio buttons. As you can see here, we're having our funny looking radio buttons. Now let's put some stylings on those ones. Let's go to our page. So this is the page. Now for the radio buttons too, they will be inside a form. So what you are going to do is create some paragraph. Inside this paragraph, we put a label. Inside the label, it's like the same format like the checkboxes. So the type will be radio. The name, let me say I'm working with gender, so the name will be gender. For the value, let me say male. Now let me put the span tag. It's going to be male. Oh, I keep on spelling male wrong. So as you can see, we are having our radio button. When I click it, it changes color. Very, very simple. So I'm going to copy this paragraph, put it here. Then this one is going to change to female. Female. Also the label or span is going to change to female. Save that. As you can see, now for the radio buttons you have to choose at least one option, and that's made possible by these names. So if in case we put different names, we are going to be ticking all the radio buttons. Let me put some V here so that they be different and see what happens. So when somebody is registering, you can see he or she can mark male and gender, which is not recommended or possible, because somebody cannot be female at the same time male. There is also another option to cater for such people. So we are going to put another paragraph, and we say others. At least when it's not a male or female, we put that. The value will be others. Save that. Now we can see the person will at least choose one option. Now, as you can see, this one is it just puts another color in the circle, but we want it to leave at least some space around, like these default HTML radio buttons. If I refresh, you can see it leaves some white gap around, but for this case it fills up the whole circle. Now if you want it to leave out some gap, just go to that input with the type of radio and put a class of with gap. So you want to leave some gap inside. Refresh. So when I tick it, you see it will be having that gap around. And these ones, you can see the difference. Very, very simple. So you just go around and add with the gap, and you'll be good to go. Still, this one, it is a form. You have to put the submit button. The name will always be submit. For the value, again, I will say send. And the class, I will just say btn. And I hope that will be the green color or teal color. Yeah, very, very simple. Now look at this. This is HTML without any styling, and this is the Materialize framework. As you can see, for the checkboxes, you get that nice looking animation, which is not possible when you're using just plain HTML, even not CSS. You can achieve this using CSS, but that's why they made these frameworks, to make work easier for you guys. These are the radio buttons you're seeing here, and these are the styled ones using the framework. I told you, when you want to leave some white space around the radio button, just add this class of with gap, so that it looks somehow similar to the default ones you find in the browser. So guys, if this tutorial was useful to you, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it on different social medias, and I'll always see you in the next tutorials. Please subscribe to the channel, rewatch the video if I was kinda fast or confusing to you. I apologize. Stay safe.